Good morning. Thanks for joining us. On Tuesday night, Indiana voters could all but seal the deal for Donald Trump in the Republican presidential fight. And with Bernie Sanders up against it on the Democratic side, let's talk about the presidential race while there still is one to talk about. With two sharp guest observers joining us this morning. They are, on the left of your screen, freelance writer Joanna Weiss. Welcome back, Joanna.
Thank you.
And also joining us, veteran political consultant and analyst Charlie Manning. Welcome, Charlie.
Thank you, John.
So this past week, on primary night, Donald Trump said, quote, "If Hillary Clinton were a man, I don't think she'd get 5% of the vote. The only thing she's got going is the woman's card." And in a later interview, he repeated, "If she were a man and she was the way she is, she would get virtually no votes," end quote. Joanna, was that a good idea tactically by Trump?
No. No, first of all, she was a U.S. Senator and Secretary of State. I think she's got some credentials that sort of that justify her existence in this race and her rise to this point.
But did she ever own a World Football League franchise?
Oh, well, you know, disqualifying. I mean, look, Trump does have a problem with women voters. His core is the white guy. And Hillary Clinton, while she famously has lost some of the millennial women to Bernie Sanders, still has a huge, base of female support. The GOP has always had to struggle with women voters. To emphasize that, to sort of bring that up and put it at the fore, it was like he handed an issue to Hillary Clinton on a silver platter.
Is there a method to that, Charlie?
Sure, you always want to go against your opponent's strength. And basically the rationale for Hillary's campaign is elect the first woman, elect the first woman. Remember, one of her big supporters said, "There's a special place in hell for any woman that doesn't support Hillary Clinton."
Madeleine Albright.
So, so you go absolutely to that strength and get people to start thinking about it. And it also plays into the President Obama thing. Did he get elected as the first African-American because he was African-American or qualified?
I mean, I must be, this is a dog whistle I'm not hearing, because what I see is the potential for Trump to so infuriate both female voters, as Joanna points out, you need to compete for them, and vis-a-vis your point, African-American voters, to the point where they may turn out in better numbers than they would have otherwise for a candidate who is otherwise less than exciting for them.
Well, this is the first little attack, as Trump has been saying. I haven't even started concentrating on Hillary yet, but for instance, she talks about equal pay for women in jobs. The two payrolls that she's controlled in an executive position, her U.S. Senate payroll and the payroll at the Department of State, how did women get paid there? Much lower than women, especially on her Senate staff. So much lower than men. So, there's going to be issues here, and it's a good way for Trump to go.
But there will be also issues that work to her advantage. Paid family leave, which is actually a crossover issue and an issue that actually has a lot of support among men and working class men. That's a union issue as well. So paid family leave is big for her. Reproductive rights still still up on the agenda. Last time around, the GOP had a lot of trouble with some rogue statements about reproductive rights. I think Hillary Clinton again has a lot more in her arsenal now.
We've got to break, but the most recent polling shows about 7 out of 10 women have a negative view of Trump. Can he win with those kind of numbers?
Yeah, he needs to get to security.
He'd have to win 80% of men, Charlie.
No, he can, but he can do better among women by emphasizing security, as he did in his statement on foreign policy, and then the economy too.
Last word to you on this?
He made nice to Megyn Kelly a little bit, but he's going to have to make nice to a whole lot more women before he can pull himself back up.
Doesn't Megyn Kelly represent all women?
Oh, yes. Well, goes without saying, the blonde.
Just wanted to clarify that. All right, take a break. We'll be back with more with our guests in just a moment. Please stay with us. Welcome back. We're talking to political analysts Joanna Weiss and Charlie Manning about the presidential race. And all right, the Clinton-Sanders contest is entering its end game. Sanders has laid off hundreds of campaign workers. They're sort of acknowledging now they're focusing on runner-up prizes like influencing the issues and platform language. If you're Hillary Clinton, do you start taking on Trump directly, as he's signaling he's ready to do with her? Do you sit back a bit and just sort of play defense if he gets on offense? or are you focusing on wooing back the Sanders vote, or all of the above, Joanna?
I think a little bit of all of the above. I think it's time for her to move on to Trump. She's already, given some indication. She talks a lot about him. Right now, she is acknowledging in much kinder terms the contribution that Bernie Sanders has made to the race. She's really making nice. She's talking about how he has affected, brought some important issues to the fore.
There's more that unites us than divides us.
Yes, always. But now I think it's time for her to pivot. And again, as we've just mentioned earlier, he's given her a lot of material.
What if you were handling Hillary, what would you be telling her to do?
Well, here's the choice she has to make. She went way to the left to combat Sanders on just a whole array of issues. The economy, energy, just one after another.
Right.
Is she going to try to, as Joanna said, pivot and get back into the middle, or to keep the Sanders voters in the Democrat Party now, which is pretty far left? Is she going to stay out there on the left, which leaves a lot of room in the middle for Trump if he can get there?
It does, although she's got to worry about turnout. I mean, this is really going to be a turnout general election, and I think she's got to worry about keeping her base motivated, particularly those Sanders voters who could sit back if they're not happy. That they might sort of wait out November. She needs them in.
And Trump has played that so well. He keeps saying, I don't agree with Sanders on anything, but he's gotten a raw deal from the Clintons in this campaign. I feel bad for his supporters. What a shame this is.
Feed
Maybe
their
he ought
sense
to
of
run as an
grievance.
independent,
So at the very least, they might just stay home.
Right.
I don't think he expects many of them will vote for him.
Although they're a little bit in play. I mean, people who are really anti-establishment, who are really upset about the system and who associate Hillary Clinton with the system, I mean, that's her weakness more than being a woman.
Remember
Her weakness is that she's associated with the system.
We saw a lot of independents who were saying, I might vote for Sanders, I might vote for Trump, because they're both seen as outsiders. So there's some votes there to harvest for Trump.
We're almost out of time, but I'm going to grab the last word here. I think she can learn from Trump's model here, that in this climate, the best game plan is to be on offense. And primarily because whatever her flaws, whatever her negatives are, the best way to address those is to turn the spotlight on Trump. Donald Trump is her best ally in this campaign in terms of exciting the voter groups that she needs to turn out for her, who otherwise are unenthused.
Well, that's brilliant. Don't you think, John? John was
no
right
need to
there
add
with that.
anything.
He's going to keep tweeting, and he's going to keep helping her out when he does.
Thank you both very much. Great to see you. Joanna Weiss, Charlie Manning. That's it for us. Now, it's back over to my colleagues for more WBZ News.